Please help me welcome Miranda Martin and John Ziller.
Show me some. 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 Hey.
That's sweet. All right, if I ask if you're ready to kick some ass, will you say hell yeah? Hell yeah. Are you ready to kick some ass? Hell yeah. Are you ready to kick some ass? Hell yeah. See, she can't do this because she has a broken foot. But the rest of you, are you ready to kick some ass? That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, I'm ready to kick some ass.
Miranda, really quick though. Can we turn on the house lights actually? Here, hold on. Can we do house lights really, really fast?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to ask for help really quick, okay? My daughter's 11th birthday is today. I know. Can I get one more of those? Thank you so much. So I just wanted to do kind of like a quick, so from you guys, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and we'll go happy birthday, Grace. That cool? Yes. All right, so, hey, sweetheart. Oops, there we go. All right. Hey, sweetheart, happy birthday. So sorry that I'm missing it. I love you so much. Miranda and I are here to try to help people not suck at sales. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday! Oh, I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of the young woman that you're turning into, and I'm so sorry I'm missing your big day. I love you so much. Can't wait to get home and celebrate with you. Love you, baby. Thank you.
How he came out saying, like, I want to kick some ass, and asking you guys and being, like, all, like, riled up to this, like, nice, gentle father. Like, how did that kind of change how you felt about him? Maybe
really?
He's, like, really nice.
You guys are like, no, he's still a jackass wearing Nate's coat.
Like, he cares about his family, right? He's a family guy. He actually has a heart, which some of you might not know he really does, okay? Let me ask you guys, because this is super important. When you're dealing with clients, are they looking at you as that salesperson, right? Or are they looking at you as this gentle person that cares about your family, that you're like a human being, right? Are you making that emotional connection with your clients, right? We've heard a lot this morning, or this afternoon, about how to like tell stories, right? But how many of you guys are sick and tired of being told, like, I want to think about it? Or when you say, why are you looking into this coverage, and they just, like, stonewall you, you know? So that's really about, oh, there we go, thank you.
Yep. Hello, testing. Here, use this one, because it's hard to hear.
This dynamic duo both come from a strong sales background.
Okay.
He was the number one...
Okay. But...
You guys hear about that better now?
Yeah, is that better? Okay. But getting stonewalled or getting told that I want to think about it. And the reason that that's happening is because we're not relating with people on that emotional level, right? Because what ends up happening is 95% of all buying decisions, they're based on feelings, right? So our mission up here is to tie everything together that you've been learning and teach you how to tell your story so that you can make that emotional connection with people right off the bat.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. Think of how emotionally connected Nate got with Corey, his best friend. Did you guys feel that? And so that's what we want to do, is we want to teach you how to tell a story. Really quick, have any of you ever heard of the XY theory in selling? You are the stimulus that creates the response, right? So have you ever asked a client, like, oh, why did you fill this form out? And they just give you that basic answer, I just want to see how much it costs. Anybody ever gotten that? Yes. Why do we get that? We get that because we don't ask for permission to open them up. Mm-hmm. By you telling your story is you asking for permission to open them up. This story is going to lay the foundation for your presentation and get them to open up so you don't get that crap anymore. So we're going to cover 5 things. We're going to cover what stories to tell, timing, because some people take too long, some people go too quick. We're going to script it out. We'll talk about that. Just vivid details to add, dates, times, locations, and then about being relatable to your age group. Miranda.
Yeah, so I want to tell you about why I'm in this business. Back in 2015, my kids, their cousin, he was actually a head football coach at a high school, probably about 2 hours away. And it was winter, and it was foggy and raining, and he was driving to work down this like dark road, right? And there was 2 ditches on the side. And there was another car at 5:30 a.m. like heading towards him, and you could see the bright lights, right? And the fog in the air. And all of a sudden the car swerved and hit him, like head-on collision. And he died like on the scene. However, the guy that hit him, he was a drunk driver, and he lived, right? And I remember this is like literally getting in the car and driving to that funeral, because it was really one of the first funerals that I ever went to. And I showed up there, and he had a wife, and he had 2 little kids. And I remember seeing his wife like standing by the casket with just tears pouring out of her eyes. And I walked over and I gave her a hug, and she said something. She's like, you know what? I've lost everything. I didn't just lose him, but I've also, Chris was his name, and her name's Mary. And she goes, I didn't just lose Chris, but I lost the 2 boys. I didn't know that she wasn't the biological mother, and there was no paperwork or anything, so they went to live with the real mom. And for 3 years, like, we were always told that don't make any decisions for like a year or 2, and like you can't, like you're in that critical period, but for her it was like at least 3 until she could even hold down a job. So that really just weighed on my heart. And what if somebody like me sat down with this family and helped them think through things so that they could have a solution? So, John, that's why I do this. I want to make sure that nobody has to go through what Mary went through when she lost Chris.
So how did that make you feel? Like, throw some stuff at me really fast that, like, what kind of, like, how it made you feel, how it was relatable, how it connected with you. Anybody kind of have anything for that? Genuine, emotional? Okay, yeah. All of these things, right? But did it allow her, like take off her sales hat and show her that she's another human being sitting in front of another human being trying to serve something far greater than just a commission? Can we all agree with that? That's what your story is designed to do. It's based off of like and trust, right? So there's 3 reasons why people buy: like, trust, and understand. Yeah. She just accomplished like and trust through her story. Anything that you would add to that?
No, and sometimes people say, I don't have a story. Right? I've heard that a lot, John. It's like, do you know anyone that's died? Show of hands. Okay, they either had life insurance or they didn't. Would you agree with that? So there's a story. Maybe we just haven't found it yet, right? So what ends up happening is there's 2 sides of the spectrum that I see people doing this incorrectly. Number 1, they do it really too short. And number 2, they go talking way too long. Right. So what ends up happening is people are always going to remember what you said, but they won't always remember what you said, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. So if we put that first and we really target our story to make sure that it doesn't exceed 2 minutes, if we plan it out just like Nate was talking about earlier and rehearse it and really master this thing, we're not going to bore people to death. We're going to connect with them.
Yeah. And I would have a story for each kind of age group, right? Because we deal with younger people, middle-aged people, and older people, right? And so I have a story specifically for somebody my brother's age, right? Is mid to early 20s. Middle-aged would be kind of like my parents.
John,
right?
You're middle-aged now.
Why the fuck are you guys laughing so hard at this? Jesus. I'm going to ignore that. And then senior, for me, I guess, would be more of like my grandparents as well. And so let's do this. I'm going to do kind of like, let's do a little bit of a check here. So I'm going to give you 2 different versions of a story. Tell me at the end of it which one you like better and why. So here's version A, okay? Let me tell you why I'm in this business. My grandfather passed away of a massive heart attack. My grandmother was set hundreds of thousands of dollars in life insurance. House was paid off, everything taken care of. And so I'm here today to ensure that everyone gets the same treatment that my grandmother got. There's version A. Here's version B. Let me tell you why I'm in this business. I got into this business because in August of 2016, my grandfather passed away of a massive heart attack. And it left my grandmother set. They used to live Social Security check to Social Security check. My grandfather passed away at the age of 78. And they were tight, right? They would have to like wait 3 days to be able to buy stuff. And so after he passed, everything, house is paid off, hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank, credit cards paid off, taken care of, done. And I used to drive past my grandmother's house every single day. And so one day, just something in my brain, stop by, walk in the front door, and oh my God, Johnny, hi. So she's like, are you hungry? Of course, my wife's out of town, somebody needs to feed me, right? So I sit down at the island, my grandmother makes this awesome chili, sit down, and we're just chatting, and I look over, and I just asked her, I said, Grandma, what would your life look like if, God forbid, Grandpa didn't have that coverage on him? I'll never forget this. Bowl of chili, spoon on her way to her mouth. She dropped it, started crying immediately, and excused herself. A little bit later, she came back, and I said, I'm so sorry. She goes, oh my God, no, honey, I am so sorry. She's like, I'm just so thankful that that man didn't have a selfish bone in his body, that he cared more about me than anything else on this planet. She's like, if I didn't have that coverage, I'd be a 77-year-old woman working at Walmart, not just to get out of the house like a lot of those people do, but because I need it for the paycheck. I would have had to file bankruptcy, I would have lost my house, and I would have had to bounce from child to child to child until they got sick of me. Nobody wants that from their kids. I don't want to be a burden to my children. So that's what he gave me. So I'm here today to ensure that that every single family gets the same treatment that my grandmother got. So tell me, why are you guys looking into this type of protection? What would it mean to your family?
So, yes, which one? Yeah, round of applause for that. Which one's better? Why? Yes. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, and what kind of pictures did he paint when he went through that? Vivid, like what? What comes to mind? Bowl of chili, right?
The bowl
Dropping
of chili.
the spoon, the kid, and then tears coming down, right? And it's so important because, like the first version, he told the same story, didn't he? But it was like 20 seconds, right? That was that short version that I was talking about. Another one was it was right at 2 minutes. Not too overboard. He touched on all those points, right? So that's why it's so important that we dive in and we make sure that it's all rehearsed and we don't go too overboard. We don't do it like version A, and that we hit on all those emotions. And one of the things that's really important to take note of is understanding, like, did you connect with that client? Did I tell a good story? And I know one of the ways to tell is their reaction, right? Are you still being stonewalled when you finish up your story, or are they automatically going into why they need the coverage?
Yeah, that's good. So, like, throughout my presentation, I would encourage all of you to do this, is have temperature checks, right? And so literally right after this particular part of it, that's your temperature check. So tell me, why are you guys looking into this type of protection? What would it mean to your family? And if you're still getting that, I don't know, I just want to see how much it cost. I don't know.
Your story sucks.
Yeah. If you are getting that, your story sucks and you need to change it for sure. But do evaluate that. It's like, is my story making an impact? Am I connecting with them?
Yeah.
Am I getting them to like me and trust me? It's super important.
Yep. And again, earlier we heard all about stories and why to tell them and different things to add in, like the sound effects and grabbing your chest, and I love all of that stuff, and that's so important. When we're telling a story about us and why we're in this business, this is the script that we recommend. So let me tell you why I'm in this field. Insert your story, and then after you're done, so tell me, why are you looking into this type of coverage? And provided we can get you approved, what are you hoping it will do for you and your family? Right? So we're not saying you're getting the coverage, we're saying if you're approved, what are you hoping it would do for you and your family?
Yeah, it's a takeaway number one, right? Strongest form of a sale is takeaway. But the second thing is, I love this type of coverage. Here's why, because we get to segregate the difference. You can ask a question very easily in this presentation. Who do you have your cancer policy through? Who do you have your life insurance policy through? Who do you have your burial policy through? Who do you have your mortgage protection policy through? See how I now get to sell them 5 different types of policy? So when we're talking about a very specific type, they already have it. I get to now move to a different bucket. Does that make sense? Jesus Christ. Yes.
We got to get Nate back up here.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. There we go.
That's fun. I like that.
Right.
All right, good. All right, so what do we include in our story, right? Again, we don't want it to be too overboard, but we want to hit on the who, what, when, where, and how, right? In my story, what were some pictures that came to mind? Funeral.
Funeral, right? Standing next to the casket.
Right? Her crying. And I love talking about taking the pictures off the wall, or what it would feel like to put that for sale sign in the front yard when they go to sell the home. You know, anything that we can do to really like drum up those details that they're going to be experiencing, like that bowl of chili. Who would have thought to include that when you're telling your story? But that's what a lot of people remember. That dark, rainy morning, the fog, right? I know, John, you're big on names.
Massive on the minuscule details, right? Chris, Mary, 2 kids. Not only did she lose her husband, but she lost her family, right? Like very specific and vivid details are what pops out, and that's what the relatable aspect is how can I relate with you to walk the story? So now it creates fear. Fear is an emotion. Nate talked about buying on emotion, whether it's a good emotion or a bad emotion. That's what we're trying to generate and create, Mer.
And he talked about earlier, like, don't sell them that disability rider, you know? Like, if you're going to do that, it's like any product that we're selling, like accidental death. Ryan Miller, the reason that we're both in this business is because Ryan Miller's dad tripped and fell, landed on his ribs, it punctured his ribs, he ended up, lungs collapsed, he ended up dying from an accident, and his family had, I think it was $300,000 of accidental death coverage. Saved his whole family, right? But without telling that story every time I'm gonna offer up an accidental death, and people just they laugh at it, right? But if I can tie it and tell that story with it, every single person I sit with ends up with an accidental death policy.
Yeah, so good.
So who, what, when, where, how, and drawing that emotion, right? What happened before if you can, or after, but again, most important, it can't go longer than that 2 minutes.
Yeah, and turning this into the reason, like, why you do this, right? Even if it's a terrible outcome, the terrible outcome is I'm here today to ensure that not another family has to go through what my family went through. That was hers, right? Tragic. Mine was positive, but you still felt it. I'm here today to ensure that everyone gets the same treatment that my grandmother got, right? And so it doesn't matter whether it's a good outcome or a tragic outcome, you're still spinning that into your purpose of being with that family.
All right. So wrapping up. So our job is to make sure we at least have the stories for those age groups, right? And again, any products, make a note right now. What stories do you need for the products that you most commonly sell? And where was it? What was that scene? What was the location? What is it? Some vivid details. Your job is to use that paintbrush and paint that scenario. Who was involved? Use their names. Make it real. You know, I remember I got my appendix burst when I was 4 and I almost died. And I remember it was like back in December of 1989, I believe it was. And like, I remember that. I remember exactly what month it was. I remember it was right before Christmas, the week before Christmas. People remember the dates of things that are important to them. Include it, right? Who was involved? How were they impacted? Was it good or bad? And then go ahead and tie that for the reason that you make this business, do this business. And then how your client responds to your story is the prime indicator of how well you did at it.
That's right. Yeah, good.
So our podcast is Don't Suck at Sales. You can find it wherever it is that you go ahead and listen to podcasts. It's all over the place. I know my book on how to be a better sales trainer, The Ultimate Sales Training Success Guide, forward by Jeffrey Gitomer. Love him. That's on Amazon. And I know, John, that you got something to ask everyone about this.
So really quick, what we're going, like, who would love to come on our podcast? There's only like half of you. Who would love to come on our podcast? There we go. So we're gonna put a challenge out there. All right, we want you guys to write your story. And here's the thing too, at the very beginning of you doing this, you're going to suck. It's okay to suck. All right, I suck. I sucked. But I sucked fast. I sucked hard. You want me to be honest? I sucked my way to the top. So it's okay to suck. Nate talked a lot about practice. I know, sorry. Nate talked a lot about. Nate asked me not to make any jokes too. Nate talked a lot about practicing. It amazes me how many people do not practice. Honestly, I used to turn my car into that rolling university. And so here's what I would say really quick is practice. I heard this the other day. Steph Curry, he was talking about Steph Curry, 500 shots a day. This is practice shots. Do the math on that. 3,500 a week, 14,000 a month, 168,000 practice shots a year. That dude has been in the league for 15 years. Anybody do quick math? 2.52 million practice shots. He's only taken 15,000 shots in the NBA. He's only made 3,000 of them, arguably one of the greatest shooters of our time. That's 1/110%. What you do, it's what you do. You get rewarded for what you do in public, for what you do in private. You guys get the fuck. Jesus, I screwed that up. Just practice, all right?
Yeah, and all this stuff that we're going over, it's not going to do anything for it to sit on your notepad or in your brain, right? Only if you take it and use it over and over and over and over again. So we're going to do something fun. Who's going to do a story? Who's going to script out their story? Who's going to use this stuff? Okay.
There we go.
Because what we're going to do is those of you that do your story and you record it and you post it on Facebook, tag us, Don't Suck at Sales, between now and May 24th. Okay, we're going to pick the best one that we hear, and we're going to bring you on our podcast. It's one of the only short-form insurance sales podcasts of our type. Episodes are like 15 to 20 minutes long or under that. But we're really excited because we want to hear, like, how has this changed your business? And it will. Right?
It'll definitely change your business. It'll change your life. It'll change the relationships that you have with your clients. You'll start getting, offered to come to birthday parties and Christmases. And if that's not happening in your business, it's because you're not connecting. And this is going to give you the ability to connect. And we promise that just by this one thing, it'll drastically change your business. So please, we're challenging you. Challenge, practice over the next week. By May 24th, tag us and we will review them.
So you guys ready to kick some ass?
It's hell yeah. It's hell yeah. Do it again.
Are you ready to kick some ass? Let's go kick some ass.
Yes.
I'm going to go this way.
Oh, you've got to hit.
Right here.
Oh, there we go. Cool. Thanks.
And I want to let you know what I see in you. I see people who are hungry. I see people who are motivated. I see people who are determined. I see people who are focused. And I see people who can live up to the high expectations that I'm going to set for you for the rest of this time. I care way too much for you to let you off the hook.